Hope you all can hear. Can you guys confirm once? Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks for confirming. Let us start the session, everyone. So, if you guys remember, we have completed two demo sessions in our previous sessions. So, we have seen about uh, the course curriculum in the first session. And in the second session, I have told you about what is the difference between the on-premises versus cloud, right? So we have seen the major difference between them. And we have also seen about all the course content that we are going to cover, right? This is our third demo. Whoever is have not attended the first two demos, please connect with an admin. They are going to provide you the video recording. You can watch that as well, right? And so without any delay, let us start the session, guys. Hope you all are see can able to see my screen as well. For example, in Google Cloud Platform, which is going to provide you a lot of services, we have seen that, right? For example, sir, GCP is one of the leading cloud provider. It is going to providing you a plenty of cloud computing services, sir. If you ask me, these are the different services that it is offering. It is offering compute services, identity management tools, networking, big data, storage and database services, and machine learning. These many services it is offering. But, sir, as a data engineer, if I wanted to interact with the Google Cloud services, sir, what are the interface methods are available? What are the interface methods are available to interact with these services, sir? Can you tell me? If you ask me, the very first method to interact with the GCP services is console. The second one is cloud shell. The third one is cloud SDK. The fourth one is third party tools or a generic tools. We can call it as third party tools or a API we can use. So these are the four methods we commonly use when we are interacting with the GCP services. Either we use console or a cloud shell or a cloud SDK or APIs and third party tools we are going to use. Sir, what is console? What is cloud shell? What is cloud SDK? What are these third party tools or APIs? Let us try to understand today. Okay, so for that one, let me open my paint and let me gonna tell you guys. The very first thing, tell me guys, what is a very important thing and first thing? That is console. Or people also call it as a cloud console. Cloud console. We can also call it as a cloud console. Sir, what is this one if you ask me? Sir, console is a one of the first thing is that it is a web-based. Sir, it is a web-based graphical user interface. Graphical user interface to interact with the GCP services. Sir, if I have a GCP services, if I wanted to interact with the GCP services, sir, how do we interact with the GCP services? If you ask me, we are going to interact with the GCP services via visual graphical user interface. Okay, visual graphical user interface or graphical user interface, or you can call it as. With the help of the graphical user interface that we are going to interact with the GCP services. So what is cloud console? It is a web based, that means it is only available over the web, and it is a graphical user interface to interact with the GCP services visually. I call it as a visually, guys, most of the time. In a graphical user interface, we are going to interact with a visually here. Okay, sir, can you show me what is that one? Sir, I'm going to go to the Google Cloud Platform. So this is how our Google Cloud Platform. If I wanted to enter into the Google Cloud Platform, don't worry, guys. I'm going to take a session in our upcoming sessions, maybe Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to tell you how to create a free tier account in the GCP so that you can able to log in like me, console.cloud.google.com. So you can also do like me. So I'm going to go to the console.cloud.google.com. So this is how our home page looks like for GCP. This is how our home page looks like for GCP. So this is what I call it as a console. Console is nothing but a graphical user interface. Sir, if I wanted to work with a, for one of the service called billing. Sir, if I wanted to look at the billing, sir, click on the billing. It is providing you the graphical interface you see here. Sir, I can able to see the bills and how much money it is left. Or sir, I wanted to create a report out of it, or I wanted to create a budget alerts, whatever it is. For example, sir, I wanted to work with cloud storage. Sir, I wanted to store some kind of a data, right? If you wanted to create, if you wanted to store some kind of a data, you can able to just, why it is not working? Are you guys able to hear me? Can you guys confirm once?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I thought it was an internet issue, but now you can see here. I can able to go to the buckets. I can just create my own bucket. So see here, this is what I call it as a graphical user interface. So in a graphical user interface, everything you can able to visually see and interact. So this is what I call it as a graphical user interface. So what we can do, sir, if you ask me, we can do anything we can able to do. Most of the things, such as you can create buckets and store data. And similarly, you can create data sets, tables in BigQuery. In BigQuery, you can able to do all of these things. Similarly, sir, you can create some VMs. So you can able to create virtual machines, you can able to create clusters, you can able to assign the permissions also. So I wanted to assign the permissions to one of the guy to do some activity. So you can assign the roles, or you can assign, you can create the groups. So all of these things you can able to do it. Anything you name it in Google Cloud Platform that can be achieved using the console also. So this is what is a console. What is a console, sir? It is web based. You see that, sir, it is available over the web. Graphical user interface, yes or no? This is a graphical user interface. See, I wanted to work with BigQuery. You click on the BigQuery and you go and work with the BigQuery. And you wanted to list out the data sets, you list out like this. You wanted to list out, maybe I can just go to another project. Sir, I wanted to list out the data sets. I can able to list out all the data sets. See one of the data set. I wanted to list out the tables. I can able to see. In a graphical user interface, you can do most of the things here. Okay, so this is what is graphical user interface. Similarly, sir, we have a one more interface. Tell me, guys, what is the second one that we can able to interact with the GCP services? Right?
Cloud Sync.
Cloud shell. Cloud shells. Yes, CLI. People are able to give me the answers. Yes. So let me gonna tell you what is this cloud shell, sir. Sir, cloud shell is a one of the web-based command line interface. What is this one, sir? It is a web-based command line interface to interact with the GCP services. How do we interact with the GCP services in the command line interface, guys? How do we
Commands.
interact? Via commands. Perfect. That's a good answer. You can able to interact with the GCP services via commands. So this is what we call it as a cloud shell, guys. So cloud shell is a one of the web-based command line interface to interact with the GCP services via commands. Sir, what we can do, if you ask me, sir, you can do all of these things here. You can do all of these things here. I'm going to show you, don't worry. See, for example, let me take one of the service. Maybe for example, sir, I go to the Google Cloud. Sir, I wanted to list out the buckets as well as files inside one of the bucket. In the Google Cloud Storage, I wanted to list out the buckets. Click on the Google Cloud Storage. And you wanted to list out the buckets. So you are using the graphical user interface. Let me open my mouse cursor. Yeah. So if you can see, sir, I am able to list out all the buckets here. See, in a graphical user interface. Similarly, sir, I wanted to list out the files inside this one, for example. See, I have the one of the folder inside that, sir, I am able to see some of the files. Similarly, sir, if I wanted to list out the files inside this one, so I have this one also here. Maybe I can go to some other bucket, maybe this one. Sir, I have this many files inside this bucket. See, uh, with the help of the graphical user interface, I can list out all the buckets. I can also list out all the files also. Sir, if I wanted to upload also, I can upload it. If I wanted to upload also, I can able to upload it. So all of these things we can able to do it here, guys. I can able to just, if I wanted to upload this pipeline, see, upload started, I can able to upload it also. So this is what we call it as a console. Well and good. Sir, where is the Cloud Shell? Sir, where is the Cloud Shell? Sir, before telling you about the Cloud Shell, let me gonna give you a small tour towards the GCP console homepage. A small tour I would like to give you. Right, so for the first time you are looking at the GCP console, I would like to give you a small tour. That's what happens every time, right? So you should understand the console homepage. So this is what is the first page that usually I call it as. Some people call it as a hamburger menu. Some people call it as a left navigation menu. So this is what is a left navigation menu. Some people call it as a hamburger menu. Some people call it as a left navigation menu. And one more thing is, this is what I call it as a project area. So this is what is my project area. Sir, what is this one? Sir, if one wanted to create any project or delete any project or select any project, you just go to the project area. So project is like a resource container that we will see in our upcoming sessions. In the next session, we are going to talk about this one only. I will tell you how to create a project, how do we manage the projects, all of those things. It's like a resource container, a project area. So this is where we create the project or select the existing projects. And one more thing is, this is our search box. If one wanted to go to any of the service, they can search for that particular service and they can go to it. This is one more thing, search box. And similarly, you have a Gemini. Some people might have already know about it. Sir, what is Gemini? Sir, it is similar to the chat GPT. If one wanted to ask any of the questions, if you have, you can ask Gemini also. It is free for all the GCP users. For all the GCP users, you can actually make use of the Gemini also. Okay, so this is what it is. And one more thing is, sir, here you have, this is what I would like to talk about. Sir, this is what is our cloud shell. So this is what is our cloud shell, guys. So that is what is our cloud shell, where if one wanted to interact with the GCP services via command line interface, they can go to the cloud shell also. Sir, cloud shell is available over the web. So that's the reason it is called as a web-based command line interface. We will see how do we interact with it also. And here you have a notification channel, everyone. Here you have a notification channel. So if someone is creating any kind of an activity there, so you will be able to see here the notifications. And here you have a project settings, and this is your username, right? So this is your username, sorry, this is your project settings, and you can see here your username. So these are the main things that we use all the time. So left navigation menu, project area, search box, and you have a Gemini, you have a cloud shell button. So this is what we call it as a cloud shell. One more thing is also missing for you. There will be a reward button also in between. So to let you know that how many free credits that are left in your account. And it is a notification button, and here project related details. Let me gonna show you here. Left navigation menu, the moment you click on it here, it will list out all the products and services. You can able to see all the products and services. This is left navigation menu. See here, all the products and services you can able to list out. And this is your project area. If you click on it, if you wanted to create any project, you see new project. Or if you wanted to select any existing project, you can just click on that, so that that particular project will be selected. Okay, so that is how. And this is your resource, sorry, search box, where if you wanted to interact with any of the services, they can search what one of the service. For example, data proc you wanted to search, right? You can search it and you can go to here. You can click on this one, right? So that you will be go to that particular service. Similarly, here you have a Gemini, where the moment you click on it here, it will ask for you to enable the API. The moment you can ask any questions if you have, right? Any questions if you have, similar to the chat GPT, you can make use of Gemini also, which is also very faster, right? Sir, you can ask what is you, who are you, or what is the difference between SSD and HHD. See, it will give you the answers. So that's also there. Okay, similarly here you have a Cloud Shell button. Here you have a notifications, right? So you are enabled one of the API just now that you can see. So this is your help button, and this is your project related button, project settings and all of those things. And this is your user account. This is your Google account, this is your user account, human account, everything. So this is where we are interested in. So this is what is the activate Cloud Shell button. Click on this one. So that if you look at here at the bottom carefully, there is a activating the Cloud Shell terminal. It is activating the Cloud Shell terminal, if you can see here. So this is what is a Cloud Shell terminal, guys. So this is what is a Cloud Shell, which is a command line interface. Yes or no? This is what is a command line interface. Sir, I can drag up and down if you wanted to. No, sir. This is very small. I don't want it to drag and drop. I wanted to open it in the next window. You click on this button so that it gets open it in the new window. Right? It's opened here. You can just close it here. So this is how. This is Cloud Shell terminal. Look at here. Earlier, I go to the cloud storage. I am able to list out the buckets. Sir, I wanted to list out the buckets in the Cloud Shell also. Sir, I wanted to list out the buckets in the Cloud Shell also, because the moment you are able to achieve something using the Cloud Shell, can also be using the Cloud Console also, and vice versa. Right. So now, sir, I can use gsutil commands, gsutil ls. Don't worry about the commands. We have a separate session for commands also, where we are learning about all the commands one by one. But look at here. I wanted to list out all the buckets here. See, are we able to list out all the buckets or not? Can you guys confirm? Yes, we are able to list out all the buckets. Well and good. Sir, I wanted to list out the files inside the bucket. Sir, now if I click on it here, I am able to list out all the files also. Sir, I would like to do the same thing. gsutil ls. The bucket name is this one. And paste here the bucket name and click on enter, so that you will be able to see all the files also. See, all the files are listed out. Sir, I wanted to copy a file, remove a file, delete a file, or create a one more bucket, upload a file. All of those things also possible. I am going to tell you in the upcoming sessions, because in this session our main motto is that what are the interface methods only, not to interact with the services, but to tell you what are the interface methods are available. Okay, so now you are able to say I am able to interact with the GCP services from the Cloud Console and also from the Cloud Shell also. So this is what is Cloud Shell. One more interesting thing about the Cloud Shell is that, sir, Cloud Shell has two phases. Okay, I just clicked on this wrong button. Okay, I just clicked on wrong button. So when I clicked on wrong button, see here, Cloud Shell has two phases. If you ask me, so one is terminal, one more is editor. Just wanted to tell you that point. So Cloud Shell has two phases. Okay, so that is, one is terminal. Why I'm not able to type it? Okay, sorry. Terminal. One more is editor. So there are two phases for the Cloud Shell, guys. One is terminal and one more is editor. Sir, what is this one? The moment you click on terminal, it opens a command line interface. It's like your terminal where you can enter your commands and run some commands. Similarly, sir, you don't want terminal, you wanted to open the editor. You can click on the editor. You might have seen Visual Studio Code. You might have seen your code editors, right? So similar to that, this is your code editor. You can open your home directory. You can also interact with the different things here, right? Someone wanted to create some kind of a Python file. You can click on here. I wanted to create a Python file, that main.py, and I can click on it here. It's already there. So I can create a one of the main.py. I can run some commands also here. All right, so this is how. So you can create, so you can see here it supports multiple languages also. Okay, so this is how Cloud Shell editor, which is purely designed if one wanted to create the code, or if one wanted to have a code editor, code editing purpose. If you want some kind of a tool, that is what is a Cloud Shell editor. One more thing is that it supports Git also. It supports Git version control systems as well. So that is what. Not only that, sir, Cloud Shell supports multiple programming languages that I wanted to tell you. So it supports multiple client libraries. When I say those things, you can install or you can work with Python, you can work with Java, you can work with Terraform, you can work with many other languages also here. So that is what is the one more thing about the Cloud Shell, guys. Interesting thing about the Cloud Shell is that, sir, it comes up with a pre-installed client libraries. If you wanted to see, I have not installed the Python, but see here, it is already supporting the Python. So if you wanted to run it also, just click on it here, it will run at the bottom. See, so it is printed the Sheikh Saidul here. I have not installed the Python, because if you look at the Python here, Python hyphen version, by default it is installed Python 3.12. So Cloud Shell comes up with the pre-installed client libraries. It supports most of the client libraries such as Python, Java, and many more. Okay, so that is one more interesting thing about the Cloud Shell. So if I talk about a Cloud Shell, sir, this is what is Cloud Shell. It has two phases when I say it. So one is terminal, one more is editor. Terminal is purely to run your commands and create some small text files and everything. If one wanted to edit the code properly, if one wanted to do the version control features, if one wanted to write a code in a proper visual oriented manner, in that case they can go for the Cloud Shell editor also. Okay, so Cloud Shell editor, if one wanted to open it, what you can do is, that's a very simple, uh, right? So might be the moment you, sorry, the moment you click on this one, you will be having a terminal like this, right? So if you wanted to open it, just click on this open editor. So at the top it will open like this. Okay, so for me, I already opened it, so that's the reason direct options are coming. You can just click on this one. Okay, so this is how. So if I want only one, I don't want both, so you can able to just switch between them. So this is how you can able to do it. Okay, this is what is your second method to interact with the GCP services. And we have a one more method also, sir, to interact with the GCP services. That is, tell me guys, what is our third method to interact with the GCP services?
SDK.
Yes, DK. So people also call it as a cloud SDK, or this one, or some people also call it as a Google CLI. Okay, Google CLI also you can call it as, no issues, both are all are same. Okay, so what is this one, sir? First thing, sir, if you ask me, sir, SDK, can anyone tell me what is the full form of SDK? What is the full
Soft-
form of SDK?
Software development kit.
Correct. It's a software development kit. That means, sir, it is a software development kit. That means you have to download it and install it, that particular kit. So that's the reason I usually call it as a local based. Sir, it is a local based command line interface. It is a local based command line interface. Sir, why I call it as a local based? Because it is used from your local machine, because according to your operating system of your local machine, according to your local machine operating system, you have to download it, you have to install it. Why, sir? So if one wanted to interact with the GCP services from the local machine, they can actually do it via SDK. If they wanted to do it according to their operating system, they have to download it and they have to install it. Okay, so this is what is a SDK, sir. What is SDK? It is a local based command line interface to interact with the GCP services. Sir, can you tell me how do we do that? So the simple thing, first thing I would like to tell you, to interact with the GCP services. How do we do that, sir? Via commands again. Okay, because it is a CLI again to interact with the GCP services. But tell me guys, from where we are interacting with the GCP services? From where
From
we are
our
interacting with
system.
the GCP? From the local machine. Whether it could be a local machine, it could be some server, it could be some virtual machine or anything. What you have to do, any machine will have their own operating system. What you have to do is that according to your operating system, you have to download it. I have created one of the link here, that is install SDK in the cloud basics. So you can copy the link here, copy this link, paste it here, and click on enter. So the moment you click on enter, so you can install the CLI. See, Google CLI or G Cloud CLI or SDK are all are same. If your system is Windows operating system, or if your system is Linux operating system, or it is Debian, Ubuntu, Red Hat, Fedora, CentOS, or Mac OS, or a Chromebook, or Windows, whatever it is, according to your operating system, you have to download the CLI and install it. Sir, how do we download it? They have provided the steps also. Even I have provided the steps also here for Ubuntu, Debian, all of those things, right? So how do we do that? Just click on this one. So see here, I'm just clicking on this one. Pay the attention here. Pay attention here. The moment I click on it here, see, something is getting downloaded because it is hardly 261 KB only. So that's the reason it is downloaded already. So you click on this folder button. See, you are able to see it here. So how do we install it? Double click on it, right? So you double click on it. I clicked on it already. Yeah. So you look at here. Once you double click on it, click on next, click on agree, click on next, click on next, click on install. The moment you click on install, it gets installed within 2 minutes itself. So how do we install the SDK, guys? According to your operating system, you have to download it and install it. It doesn't take much time, hardly 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes. If you know the process, it is 2 minutes only. Just click on, that's it. It gets installed. Right? Just click on this button, open the folder, and double click on this thing. That's it. Follow the follow the prompts. Sorry. Right? So, sir, I might have already installed it, right? Because I've been using the CLI from last 2 years. So I already installed it on my local machine. If you can see here, I set with SDK. So I'm opening it. If you can see, this is what is SDK. So I click on this one. The SDK is opened for me. Sir, it's like this one, sir. I wanted to use the WhatsApp in my, sir, I can use WhatsApp web. I can use in my phone WhatsApp application. Sir, I can also install the WhatsApp in my local machine. So you download the WhatsApp. Assume that you have downloaded the WhatsApp now. Sir, tell me, what is the very first thing that you do? Just tell me, guys, what is the first thing that you do? We
We have
installed
to
it.
install.
We installed it. After that,
Register our number.
correct. You do log into your system. If it is for the first time, you do a registration. But if you already have the account, you log in. Similarly, sir, I have opened my Google Cloud SDK. I already have my Google account. I have to log into that. So that's the reason I do G Cloud Auth login. I click on enter, look at here, and it goes to the browser and it is asking you which account you wanted to log into. So this account I wanted to log into. And click on continue. SDK wanted to click on allow. That's it. Now SDK, so look at here, you are now authenticated to use the CLI. So you can see here, this is what it is selected. This is, and again, the project is also selected. So now, sir, tell me, what was the command that we have used to list out the buckets?
GSUTLS.
Very correct. So if I just click on enter, sir, there were few buckets which we listed out from the Cloud Shell. Now look at here. Are we able to do the same thing from our local machine SDK also? Right? So that is how SDK is a way to interact with the GCP services from your local machine. Right? So you can also see here one more thing. Sir, I would like to select this one to list out all the files. Click on enter. Still list out all the files also. I wanted to create a bucket also. I can do that actually, but I don't want it to do it now because in our upcoming sessions we are going to see in a very detail. Okay, so this is our third method to interact with the GCP services, guys. So that is what is SDK. So SDK is a local based. This is a name that I have given, guys. It is not official. So I call it as a local based because it is locally available from a local machine. If one wanted to interact with the GCP services, they can actually use the SDK. Okay, so it is a local based. You, according to its operating system, you have to download it and install it, and it is a command line interface to interact with the GCP services. And if one wanted to do any of these actions, they can able to do it. So this is what it is. Okay, so this is what it is. So you have a console, you have a cloud shell, and you have a cloud SDK also. You have a console, cloud shell, and cloud SDK, sir. So these are the three interface methods that are there in Google Cloud Platform to interact with the GCP services. Now tell me, guys, if anyone have any questions, please raise your hand. If anyone have any questions, please raise your hand on these three interface methods. Let's not deviate from the topic. If anyone have any questions related to it also, let us talk. Yes, Vishal.
Hi.
Yes,
In the cloud shell, you mentioned one is the editor. In
correct.
the, yeah, if you write some program like take example
Correct.
of, if we create one composer code, airflow code.
Yes.
So where we are storing that code, may actually how may actually in which bucket we are storing, how may actually how we can check that whether it is I'm writing that.
No, that we will do it in our upcoming session. See, so I have a GCS. I go to here. I'm gonna create a bucket. I'm gonna create a files. I'm gonna copy it. I move it. All of those things we are going to see. Don't worry about that. Okay.
Okay.
We are not at that stage. We are at a stage where how many interfaces are there? How do we interact with them? Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Yes.
one more question.
Yes, please.
When we log in with Cloud SDK,
Mm-hmm.
and suppose if you want just miss that local user just want to give permission of the big query, not the big data proc and other or any one only XYZ bucket. So can we control that with SDK?
You can do that. Yes, not SDK. SDK you can assign permissions using the SDK, but that topic comes under the GCP IMN admin.
Uh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Fine. Yeah. Then,
Yes.
we'll talk that time more.
Sure. 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 At that time, you will not even ask this question because by the time I might have covered that. Okay.
Yeah. Looks like.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Any other question? Ganguly, yes, please.
Yeah, hi sir. So
Yes,
my
please.
question is related to the project that you have
Okay.
just selected, but I found
Correct.
like you auth code it and you yes, auth code one from Cloud SDK. You did the auth code part. So, so thereafter you got into that account. Now
Correct.
the same account, I mean, same account can have multiple projects.
Yes.
Suppose, I mean,
I got your question. I got your question, but I'll try to give you answer in a simple words. We can change the project whenever you wanted to do it. Okay. So
okay.
if one wanted to, sir, I am working on this project, sir. I wanted to change my project. For example, look at here. Okay. For example, a simple command I'll tell you. So, sir, if I wanted to change the project in the console, I just come to the project area and I click on this project so that the project is changed here. Right, sir. Similarly, sir, I would like to do the same thing here because, sir, it was connected to this test project. But, sir, I wanted to do the same thing. There's a command for that. I'll tell you in our upcoming sessions, but to let you know, gcloud config set project. Okay. So you can just mention here the project ID. Sir, I wanted to connect it to this project. You copy the project ID and you come here and paste it here and click on enter. Okay.
Got it.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
These things are we are going to see for sure because we have a dedicated session for the Linux and where you are going to see gcloud auth login, gcloud config set project and all of many more also. Okay. Yep. Yes, guys. Any other questions? Yes, Anusha, you have any question, please? Yes, please. Yes. 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 Correct. Correct. Yes, I got your point. It's like this one. If you go to a supermarket, right, sir? Why three? So the question is why three when you can do everything in one single interface? Why three? The answer is that if you go to a supermarket, right? So you have a different varieties of the chocolate, right? You maybe like the dairy milk. Someone maybe Kit Kat. Someone maybe Milky Bar. So why only dairy milk? Why not KitKat and all? It's totally depends on their own interest. Someone is very good at the interface. Someone is very good at the SDK. Someone is very good at the Cloud Shell. And one more thing, it totally depends on the project also. If your project says you have to use the console, you have to use the console. There is no alternative because they will only provide you the access to the console. They will strictly, you know, force you to or restrict your access to the console and cloud shell and cloud SDK. Okay, according to the project, if they are saying all, you can use anything. If they are asking you to use only one, then you have to use that particular thing. But our main aim of the course is that if you put in a chance to work on any of these interfaces, you should be able to work on, right? So that's how the course is designed. Okay. Yes. Of course. Right. No, you have see that's the advantage with the okay. I think I might have deleted it, right? So I am gonna do that first thing. Sir, now the question here is very good, interesting question, but it is not coming here. Okay, it is not coming. 1 minute, I think it will come up. Yeah. Sir, now in the Cloud Shell, the question is this one, sir. In the Cloud Shell, you have Cloud Shell terminal and you have Cloud Shell editor. In the Cloud SDK, tell me guys, do we have the Cloud Shell terminal? A Cloud SDK terminal? Yes. But do we have a editor? Anyone? Anyone?
No.
No, first tell me how the Cloud SDK is available to you in the local machine. By downloading and installing it. Similarly, if you want some kind of a uh, any editor, you can download it and install it, right? This is your local machine. You can do anything, right? So you can just go and download Visual Studio Code, right? Because the Cloud Shell is managed by the Google Cloud Platform, you can't do anything on your own. So that's the reason they are providing you terminal and editor specifically. But in your local machine, it's you are the owner of your local machine. If you want SDK, you download it, install it. If you want a Visual Studio, you download it, install it. You want Notepad plus plus, you download it and install it. However you want it to, wherever you want it to write your code, then you can do that, right? So that's the you have a flexibility here. Okay, got it. Right. Yes. Yes, Sheshadri. I yes, please. Same. Linux command. So that's the reason we have a separate session on the Linux. Yes. Yes. Most of the commands are similar to the Linux. Yes. Mostly because that's a free, right? So it's a free. Linux is free, open source. Yes. And very simple. It does not take a lot of storage for installing because Windows is a heavy one. Linux is very small one when it comparatively. Yes. Okay. And I see someone is raising. Yes, Jivan Kumar. Yes, please. It depends. And I think actually I have this one interesting note here. People are asking me a lot of times, sir, what is why we are going to use, which one we are going to use, and which one we are going to use commonly. Look at here, the note for you. These are some of the common ways to interact with the GCP. The choice of method depends on your preferences, requirements, and the type of interaction that you wanted to have it with the GCP resources. Look at here, this one. When I say requirement, is that project requirement. The choice of method depends on your project requirement for sure. If your project says anything, you just use that one. But if they say, if you have a flexibility, you are flexible to use any of your interaction according to your requirement, right? So someone wanted to use console, you can do that. Someone wanted to, because the thing is that someone is good at console interface, someone is good at the commands. So according to their own requirement and how much time it is going to take that particular activity, it depends on many things. Okay. Yep. Any other questions, anyone? See. Okay, so let me gonna talk about the next thing. I did only tell you about the three methods. So what about the third method? I would like to give you a small intro on the fourth method. Sorry, the fourth method, that is a APIs and third-party tools. Um we have a separate session where we integrate with the APIs also. But I would like to give you some idea on the APIs and third-party tools also. To give you some idea, right? So what is an API is something that, for example, any in a simple idea, if I wanted to give you any application or any tool or any service, any tool or any service or any application, whoever is developing, right, if they wanted to expose some kind of information, they usually expose that information via API. The best way to expose their information is API. Okay, so for example, you wanted to build something, or you wanted to insert some data, or you wanted to do some action here. So people try to interact with this application via the API only. API is like a bridge, or API is like a way to expose your information or a tool or anything, right? So what in the Google Cloud platform happens here is that, so assume that this is GCP. In Google, we have a plenty of the services. For example, GC, for example, a backend database, that is Cloud SQL. There's a Cloud SQL database, guys. There's a Cloud SQL database. So there's a one of the service called Cloud SQL database. What usually happens? This is one of the GCP service, everyone. In GCP, we have a service called Cloud SQL database. Assume that there is some application running, some third-party application is running. Right, so there is some Flipkart application, for example. Flipkart, we all know about the Flipkart, right? Flipkart is nothing but an e-commerce application. So assume that you have a Flipkart here. So Flipkart wanted to, whenever someone is interacting with an application, what usually happens in the Flipkart is that there will be a multiple people will be there. There is a multiple people will be there. They are going to interact with an application. So that's where a lot of data gets generated. Usually, if a Flipkart wanted to store their data, they can use this particular Cloud SQL database. They can store the end of the day. If one application wanted to store the data into that, usually there is a databases that will be storing their data in a structured format. Right? Whenever there is a user interaction happening at a Flipkart database, that's where the data is getting generated. A transactional data is getting generated. If you wanted to store it, you can store it in any on-premises tools also and cloud tools also. If you are storing it in the cloud tool, so this is what is one of the databases available. So an application can interact with the GCP services also. Either it is via API or any other authentication method, or any other authentication method. That is one way that this application is interacting with one of the GCP services. This is an API way to interact with it. One more thing, this application is external to the GCP. This is what we call it as a third party tool. This is what we call it as a third party tool. Okay, so this is how you can interact with the GCP services via APIs, or you can interact with the GCP services via some third-party tools also. Similarly, I have one more thing also, a simple example. Assume that there is one of the service in the Google Cloud platform, that is BigQuery. In BigQuery, you have a sales table is there, sir. In BigQuery, you have a sales table is there, where this data is commonly used for. In BigQuery, you have a sales table is there. So can you guys tell me, did you guys heard about one of the tool called Power BI? Anyone?
Yes, it's kind of a reporting tool,
It's
visualization.
a reporting tool. So tell me guys, I have the reports here. Tell me why my reports are empty. Why these reports are empty? Because we do not have any data. Because we do not have any data. So there is a one of the service called BigQuery in Google Cloud Platform. If you go to the GCP, there is a one of the service called BigQuery where you can create the tables and you can store the data. And Power BI is supposed to get the data from this one. So if it has the data, and these reports gets data, and these reports will be live. Okay, so this is what happens, right? So whenever you wanted to interact with a third party tool, Power BI is an external to the GCP or a third party tool to the GCP. So via a third party tools can also interact with the GCP to extract the data, to insert the data, to do any type of actions. So this is again one more example for the third party tool. They can actually integrate it via service accounts or some authentication method they do it. Okay, so this is what is a third party tools are. A different third party tools are external tools are applications are there to interact with the GCP services. So that is what we call it the fourth method that usually happens automated way when you provide a credentials. Okay, so this is what is a fourth method to interact with the GCP services, sir. I hope this is also clear. Tell me guys if anyone have any questions for today. So this is all about today. So I just told you one of the topic, how many ways that we can able to interact with the GCP services. But I have a one question for you guys. Why we have to interact with the GCP services? That's a question, a major question I have it, sir. Sir, in Google Cloud Platform, you have a plenty of the services. Okay, let us just say this is GCP. Sir, in GCP, I have a plenty of the services. Why I have to interact with the GCP services? Tell me. Why I have to interact with the GCP services is a question. And if you're not able to answer it, that means I am failed in teaching you proper things. Why as a data engineer you have to interact with the GCP services?
Because we have to store the data, right? Like,
Perfect.
for example,
Perfect.
yeah,
To transform the
Correct.
data, to actually
Correct.
to get some insight from the data.
Correct. Correct. So most of the people I have seen 5 to 6 answers at the same time. That means you guys are following. Anyone wanted to give a few more answers? Why we have to interact with the GCP services? Sir, in my project, I may have to ingest the data. In my project requirement, I may have to store the data. In my project, I may have to transform the data or process the data or analyze the data or visualize the data or monitorize the data. Sorry, visualize the data, or I wanted to do the data governance. I wanted to do it, or sir I wanted to do the logging, sir I wanted to do the monitoring. Sir, if I'm a data engineer, sir, according to my project requirement, I wanted to do all of these actions. If I go for the on premises models, they are going to take a lot of time, lot of effort, lot of money also, which I don't wanted to put in, which we have seen a lot of challenges with the on premises. So that's where, sir, I wanted to interact with the GCP services to do all of these actions. Now tell me, how many interfaces are there to interact with the GCP services? Sir, we have console.
four. Console,
Correct.
shell,
Cloud shell,
then
Cloud
SDK,
cloud
SDK,
SDK, and
API.
then
APIs
API.
are third party tools. Any of these things, sir, you can able to use to interact with the GCP services. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 4. So what you do, you wanted to do sorry, you wanted to do these actions, you can use this method, or you can use this method, or you can use this method, or you can use this method also. And now what you're going to do, you interact with these services with the different interfaces. I hope this is making sense now. Any questions now here? Okay,
Actually,
so yes please guys, if anyone have any questions, yes
uh,
please.
one question in SDK, We
One minute, guys. Um, yes, Sheshadri, you have any question? Yes, please, Sheshadri. And it is going to be Zoom. Okay, the next sessions are on Zoom. Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yes. Yep. Okay. Any other questions? You will be on Zoom only, guys. Yes. Yes. Anyone have any? Yes, Vishal.
Yeah, I have one question. Yeah,
Yes.
in HDK, you said we have actually in our local system we can
Correct.
download the Visual Studio.
Huh.
Okay, suppose if we that Visual Studio is a local to our machine.
Correct.
Okay, so if you write some program, Python program abc.py file, then
Yes.
we want to communicate that file with a GCP. Actually, we want to move into the GCP server or in
Mm-hmm.
the GCP bucket.
Yes.
So how we can move it then? Because that is
Just
not a
I'm doing it right, so I can do the G Cloud login.
okay.
This is my Visual Studio. You are able to
Yeah,
see, right? Right. So
yeah.
I can just go and copy this link and just go to my browser and paste that link and click on enter and select this one. The same process, right? Because the moment you have an SDK installed on your local machine, that's a gets a environment variable created, right? So
Hmm.
any CLI will be able to have an access to the SDK, whether it is a SDK, a separate terminal, or you open your command prompt also, or your PowerShell also will have an access to the SDK all the time. So that's how the SDK is an environment variable. Now look at here. So it is installed. So now earlier you are doing the gsutil ls.
Yes.
Okay, you will be able to do it. Now if you just create a one Python file and you can run it here. Okay, to create a bucket that will store the files. That's also possible. Got it?
Okay. Yeah, okay. Understood. Understood. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Any other questions, anyone? Okay. Okay, guys. I hope most of the things are clear from the last three sessions. I just wanted to give a heads up on what we have discussed so far. What are the next steps? Okay, sir. The one thing that I wanted to tell you, if anyone is new, you have the course curriculum here. So let me gonna put it here, and so this is our course curriculum, guys, which we are going to discuss. If you look at here, where we are, if you look at here, we are at this particular topic. Where this one? We are at this particular topic. If you can see, right? So this is where we are, guys, and we are a lot many things to go. We have completed cloud overview, GCP introduction. We are just here in our upcoming sessions, GCP locations, IAM, Linux basics, and all of those things one by one we are going to cover. And those who wanted to look at the the course details, the course is GCP data engineering, duration 2.5 months, and timings are same, Monday to Friday. So I just wanted to let you know we do not have any sessions on tomorrow and after tomorrow. Those who wanted to attend the regular sessions or those who wanted to continue for the sessions, please try to do the enrollments. While you are doing the enrollments, I just wanted to tell you, people will ask me later and again. So while you are enrolling for the course, I hope some of the people at least wanted to enroll for the course, right? If you wanted to enroll for the course, right, so connect with an admin will try to ask you to do the payment. You complete the payment. That is one thing. Once you complete the payment, get the access to the Zoom link, because you need to attend, because the new Zoom link will be generated. You connect with them and try to get the new Zoom link. From the Monday there will be a new Zoom link will be created. And one more thing is access to the material which we have. I have told you, right? Access to the material plus recordings. So these are the things you ensure, guys. Please don't ask me later, sir, I need an access to the recording, sir, I need the new Zoom link. Don't ask me. So whoever is your admin, if I am, or if one more is there, whoever is your admin, what you have to do, they are going to actually connect with you and they are going to tell you. So for my, so 1 minute, guys. is something, sorry guys. So this is what is something you complete the payment and get the new Zoom link, access to the materials and everything. This is something you make sure of it. And these are the things that we are going to cover in our upcoming sessions. I hope this is clear. Anyone have any questions, please? I hope everything is clear, and so far it's been good. So thank you for joining the sessions, guys. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can wind up the session.
Sir, just one more thing. I
Yes,
mean, could you
please.
please show us the way you authenticate the Cloud SDK? Not the Cloud SDK, but the VS, VS Code.
No, you just open here and you just click on this terminal and go to the terminal. That's it.
And then
Gcloud auth login.
what comment Cloud?
Gcloud auth login. Those all of these things are there in the notes actually very clearly, even more than I am saying. So if you can go to IAM, not IAM, account creation, no. Yes, is SDK here. So to do the login, you can do this one and set an active account. Every time I don't wanted to do the logins or I wanted to set an account, or if you wanted to remove an account, set an default application account. All of these things are there in the notes. Maybe in our upcoming sessions, I'll tell you. Okay.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Okay, guys. So look at here. These are the course details, and I hope you have enjoyed the sessions throughout. And if anyone have any questions, you can ask me. And do please enroll for the course before the Saturday Sunday itself. Don't hurry worry. Do the payment and before 1 hour of the session, 2 hours of the session, because they may not be able to provide you a lot of details during if you're doing it. So if you fix that, sir, I wanted to join the GCP, I wanted to become a GCP data engineer, learn a lot of things, just complete the aram set the payment and get everything ready, and try to go to my notes and try to do some kind of a explore my notes. And maybe for those people who wanted to just look at what we have discussed so far, so you can go to the GCP introduction, which we have seen what is GCP introduction, and similarly GCP interfaces, which we have seen, right? Cloud console, cloud shell, and cloud SDK. So these are the things you can able to see it here. Okay, so this is something that you can explore it a bit. And I have also installed the SDK. You can just go to here and copy the link and try to install the SDK. So complete your enrollments, try to get the access to the notes and material, and do some of these things so that you get be prepared for the next session. Okay. Yep. Any questions, anyone? Thank you, guys. Okay, perfect, guys. Thank you all. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Hope you guys are going to enroll for the course, and I'm going to see you in the next class, guys. Thank you all. Have a great day, guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.